Hello everybody, you're listening to a mini episode of That's Auntertainment. I am your pop culture maven, Jeff Malone. And yeah, it's been a few weeks since we've popped in with a new episode in your feed. You may have remembered the last time we dropped something. It was a summer break announcement. As we've done the past few years, we are not during the hottest months, during the dog days and the days before the dog days. We step back a bit from the microphones and don't record any full-length episodes. But I said, hey, you know what? I don't want to disappear entirely. I think I'm going to pop in with a few mini episodes. So that's what I'm doing now. And, here's the thing. During the summer months, nowadays in this current media landscape, there's still plenty to talk about during these months. Back when I was growing up, there was no such thing as summer TV. It was reruns. It would just be episodes of what had aired September to May in the past year. They would play again, and you could catch up on them if you missed them, because we didn't have streaming back then. We didn't have DVRs. We had VCRs, so you could record them that way if you coordinated everything properly, but that took some effort. Although for folks like me and Aunt Beth, we usually were successful in that effort. So even if there were a few nights out of the week where we had to be away from the couch, we usually managed to catch everything that we needed to. And also, you used to be able to listen to the local ABC station on the radio. You'd get the TV feed. I don't know if that worked in any other cities in the country, but it worked in the Philadelphia area. So if I were in the car between 7 and 7:30 p.m., I would listen to Jeopardy. So there you go. But then in like the early 2000s, there was like, hey, summer TV is now the domain of reality TV. So if you were in the mood, you could check out these people stranded on the beach, or some people trying to be the next big singer in America. And but otherwise, summer was a time to go out to the movies, or go to summer camp, or just hang out at the pool, or otherwise be outside. And when you went on vacation, when you went to the beach or the mountains or wherever, you didn't have to worry about staying current on your shows because there was nothing new coming out. Nowadays, it's relatively fewer new TV in June, July, and August than there is the rest of the year, but pretty much still every Friday and Thursday and Wednesday and Sunday, for that matter, there's something worth talking about. So that's why I'm here, to talk about it. So this is a What's Jeff Watching mini episode, where I talk about what I've been watching. Just in case you happen to be wondering, the stuff that we haven't covered in the full length episodes. And normally I don't mention what Aunt Beth is watching as well. We're just left to wonder about that. But this time I texted her and said, hey, do you want me to let the people know what you've been watching? And she said, sure, yeah. So she mentioned that she's been watching Cruel Summer. I believe that's on Freeform, and kind of soapy teen drama. She also mentioned Smartless, which I believe is the formerly HBO Max adaptation of the podcast of the same name, hosted by Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett. I think they're going around interviewing people. And also The Diplomat, which is on Netflix. I thought it was on Apple TV+. I think there's a similar show like that on Apple TV+. Anyway, it stars Carrie Russell, so if you like her, you might enjoy this show. And if you like what Aunt Beth recommends, those are our recommendations, so there you go. Now, what have I been watching? Well, I've been watching or reading the Emmy ballots. They're released online about a month before the nominations come out. The nominations will be announced on July 12th. And in the meantime, you can go on Emmys.com, see who's eligible to be nominated, look through all the shows and all the actors and makeup artists and lighting designers and all the other crew members. And it's hundreds of pages long. So you can spend a whole week or whatever, or between now and when the nominations are out, and see who everybody is. And maybe then come up with a wish list of your own for who you'd like to be nominated. I will be putting my annual wish list out as usual, so look for that soon. I've also been noticing this. Guys, did you see this? Somebody threw a phone at BB Rexa at one of her concerts. I almost thought about going to this concert. This was in New York. What is going on? It hit her right in the eye. She had to get stitches. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, in happier news, or, in more planned news, geez, oh my gosh, all this TV. Well, I really liked the first episode of Black Mirror Season 6 with Annie Murphy, and then Salma Hayek playing Annie Murphy, and Kate Blanchett playing Salma Hayek playing Annie Murphy, and yeah, it just keeps reiterating from there and there. It's an artificial intelligence sort of thing. I haven't watched the rest of Black Mirror Season 6 yet. I'll get to it. Oh, and also, The Wonder Years is back. A summer show. It had previously been a regular fall to spring show. I hope that this doesn't portend a cancellation coming anytime soon. Keep your fingers crossed, because this is a lovely, lovely show. We did a full episode about it, about the original Wonder Years and also the new one. And I think Annabeth and I both enjoyed it. And this second season is looking solid as well. Titus Burgess has shown up as a guest star, and so is Phoebe Robinson. So there you go. Yeah, well worth checking out. That's how I'm spending part of my Wednesdays as well. And man, Wednesdays are staying crowded, not getting crowded. Because we also got Riverdale in its final season. I believe the finale's coming in August. They went back to the 50s. When the show was first on, it kind of had a throwback feel. It does take place in the present day. It's the first few seasons, I mean. But it kind of had a feel of like, we're being influenced by the original comics vibes of when it came out in the 60s? Maybe the 50s and the 60s, but anyway, mid 20th century America. Oh boy, yeah, so also plenty of sports. Yeah, lots of sports. French Open ended recently, and the Emmy Finals ended recently. Oh man, French Open, surprisingly competitive women's final. Iga Świątek of Poland won her third French Open in 4 years. And she's the current queen of clay, but she was put through the grinder, quite surprisingly, by Karolina Muchova of Czech Republic. So man, I love the tennis. I don't think I mentioned that too often on as a That's Auntertainment co-host. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't come up a lot, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Aunt Beth if she's planning on watching Wimbledon at all. Maybe she'll just tune into the final for a few minutes. But now that Serena's retired, yeah, I mean, that takes the casual fans aren't into it as much. Maybe if Venus Williams makes a surprise late in career run to the final, well, man, that would be quite the story. Well, anyway, so that's a sports detour. What about movies? Movies. Oh, you know what? I'm going to heartily recommend The Blackening. Not just because I quite enjoyed it myself, but because it is so beautiful to be seeing boisterous comedies actually being released in the theater and not going straight to streaming, because now that it's been 3 years since everything was shut down for COVID, and studios got into the habit of just going, yeah, send it right to streaming. It's not a huge Marvel or Star Wars or whatever super blockbuster. It doesn't have to be seen on the big screen. But now they seem to be rethinking that and going, wait a minute, actually, you know what? I think we kind of do make more money when we release stuff in the theaters. And this deserves to be a hit. I mean, it's looking. It's not doing huge box office numbers, but you know what? Go see it. Here's the deal. It's a horror comedy. It's a lot like Scream in that the horror is horrifying, and the laughs are cathartic. You will be laughing, and you will be scared. You will be freaked out by who the killer is and what the machinations are. So the premise is, in case you haven't been catching this in any previews of it, it's a group of black friends going up to a cabin in the woods for a weekend, a Juneteenth weekend specifically, and then there's this sadistic killer forcing them to play these games that are like trying to making each of them prove how black they are, because the premise or not the premise, it's often an accidental thing, or is something that has happened in so many horror movies, is that the black character usually dies first. But if all of the main characters are black, they can't all die first. So that's where we go from there, and I enjoyed what sprung forth from that idea, and I think plenty of other people did as well. Oh man, what else should I talk about? I don't know, maybe some quick hits. Asteroid City, definitely worth watching if you're a Wes Anderson fan. The Flash, kind of ridiculous, but it's mostly enjoyable. The Little Mermaid reboot, live action remake, enjoyable enough. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, competent enough. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, just whoa, what a blows it away. Blackberry, starring Jay Baruchel and Glenn Howerton. That one was really good. Okay, yeah. So man, plenty more to come. As I'm recording this right now, I've yet to see No Hard Feelings, but I'm glad to see Jennifer Lawrence. Hey, another theatrical comedy movie actually coming out, and I'm glad to see Jennifer Lawrence in that, because I mean, we all know she goes cuckoo bananas whenever she's promoting her movies, but the actual movies themselves have rarely matched that zany personality of hers. So yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I'm hearing that she just goes for broke. It certainly seems that way based on previews. All right, so I think I'm going to check back in about a month, or maybe, I think around the time that the Emmy nominations come out, I'll pop in for a little reaction and maybe also talk about what else I've been watching. Maybe I've been watching some of the Emmy nominees, and I'll ask Aunt Beth what she thinks about them as well. So yeah, that's it for now. So yeah. It's the summer, so I won't burden you with too many assignments. I mean, I try to keep it light during the summer, but I listed 1 million shows and movies, didn't I? Well, anyway, you spend an hour just being restful, at least this week, today, or tomorrow, or whenever you're able to fit in some time. You deserve it. So yeah. I'll leave you with that, and as usual, you can support us on Patreon if you'd like. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and you can keep your remotes handy and your eyes open.